Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 5 of RimWorld Survival. So, last episode, I asked all of you to go vote on goals for me for this series, and here they are. The top 3 goals that got voted on were hospital and a bed, a network of tunnels to allow me to move around the map, and also to trap raiders, and I get to make up a goal. So, this past weekend, I very heavily modified the mod that this series runs off of, and I wanted to thank 2 people for helping me modify the mod. Jerry and Cyrostasis were instrumental in allowing me to make some changes. So I'm going to showcase the 2 chief changes. The first chief change is that constructed roofs no longer protect you from radiation, meaning that if you were to build a house outside and build a roof over it, you'll still get radiation through that roof. Pretty cool, right? It does make it so that the difference between a thin rock roof, naturally occurring, and a constructed roof are very different. And the game in vanilla doesn't really have a way to differentiate between the two. So I also modded for that. So if I go to the visibility of roofs here, as you can see, this does not look like dark green and light green. It is dark gray. Dark gray signifies overhead mountain. Light gray signifies overhead thin rock roof. And this pinkish color signifies constructed roof. The constructed roof here will not protect you from radiation. This does fundamentally change the way this base is laid out because Stormy's bedroom now has constructed roof over it. I'm going to have to change the bedroom around. And then of course my recreation patio, same deal. It is mostly constructed roof, and that's kind of a problem. The first thing I want to do is to remove some of this constructed roof so that it's very obvious that it is dangerous for me. And then I'm going to move the horseshoe pin so that we can use it without, becoming dreadfully irradiated. Okay, so let's start rolling the game. I did also have a lot of other tips. So Cardoza and Josh Shetler, mentioned that Tony here is a night owl and needs night owl designations. Also, probably should be set up to not irradiate herself. Yes. So if we go into numbers, yeah, everything looks right now. I'm going to change her so that she's not a hunter. She's a meleeer, so she's not ever really going to hunt. And then we'll also give her the ability to plant, cut, and grow, and also do a little bit of construction. Jane's here is going to risk some of the radiation in order to remove this overhead roof. I also dramatically changed the way the radiation builds up. So some of you commented that it was jumping in spikes, and that will no longer be true. All right. And now that I've removed those roofs, let's just go ahead and prevent Jane's, or really anyone that is radiation protected, from entering that area. Okay, so as you can see here, the horseshoe pin here is brightly lit and but it should be accessible. We should be able to play with it while protected with some overhead roofing, which is good. Which is, in fact, exactly what we want. I did have some other tips that I want to go over. So James Sanderson and Robert Strader mentioned that if I moved Agro's bedroom upwards, I would have a lot more room to build some additional construction projects. So I'm going to do just that. I'm going to be mining out this area here. And we can fit 2 bedrooms in there. What I think I'm going to do with Stormy's bedroom here is I'm going to turn it into a hospital that doesn't necessarily need to be a 5x5. Now, there's no rule that all my bedrooms have to be 5x5. I would just like them to be uniform so that everyone has relatively similar quality bedrooms. Just a personal thought of mine. Okay, some other tips. Jipeng Wang mentioned that if I moved my Psychoid T over a little bit and then moved these leaves to be right where the interaction spot is for the stove, that I would, of course, more greatly benefit. So, yeah, that's entirely true. We will do just that, and we'll be able to make tea a little bit faster. And then, in fact, what I'll do when we're done is take it to the Psycho Tea stockpile. And then this stockpile will be... we'll just call it storage. And then the last tip I received from Suma LP is that there was some unused space here. Some of that space is irradiated, as you can see, the pink tiles now. But I will try to reclaim as much of that space as I can. So I'm going to add some marble walls here where the pink tiles are so that I don't accidentally irradiate myself. And yeah, then we'll be all set. Getting the farming built back up. And then I'm also adding 2 more hydroponic basins. I would like to start growing heal root because I have a very limited and soon to be dwindling supply of meds. And I'd prefer not to, you know, die of not having meds. That sounds like a very avoidable death. And then, oh boy. Oh man, we are going to want to run for that. The issue is, of course, being massively irradiated while trying to get there. What I'm going to do is add a lot of this mountain, and this will require some painting, but a lot of this mountain to be accessible. And what I think I'm going to do is to have some sort of exit here. So part of the network of tunnels goal that I had was to mine out a network that allows me to move about the mountains less affected by radiation or unaffected by radiation. Now there could be some hidden, like right here it looks like there might be some lack of an overhead mountain. So I got to be careful about that. All right, Tony is healing up. Tony, if we analyze her, is about the same age as Stormy, and they're both sort of melee passion. She is nimble. She actually isn't a brawler necessarily, whereas Stormy also isn't a brawler. Wow, they have actually a lot in common. They're both night owls, and they both like melee, and they both like medical. They're a perfect match for one another, and I guess it's not the goal that I am able to vote on, but it's probably my personal unmentioned goal that I would like them to become a couple. Of course, the huge benefit of becoming a couple, all of the mood and the one less bedroom and you know, so on and so forth. There's quite a lot more, but that would primarily be those reasons. So temporarily what I'm going to do is to add the bed down here so that she has a bedroom. We won't make her sleep in the common area for very much longer. Another thing I was thinking of doing is to install one more solar power panel. Now, there was some idea, both in comments and on Discord, about changing around the setup of my base so that we grow a lot of food, and then additionally, we would set it up so that we'd have chem fuel generators, and we'd turn some of the extra food into chem fuel for power. And that's actually a really good idea in the long run. Obviously, I can't do that just right now. Major break risk. Okay. So in this corner here, I'm just filling it in so that the overhead poison can be sort of ignored. And then we do have some people that could make a run for stuff. So our best miners would be aggro. So what I'm going to do is send aggro up here. There is some overhead mountain to protect him from while he's up there mining. So we'll have him be sent up, and then Stormy here. I am going to have you risk a lot to grab as much of this muffalo wool as you can. And then Jane's has the initial radiation buildup. So he's going to sit this one out and not do any long-term haul. Hopefully Tony heals up a little. Okay, almost fully healed up. And then Tony can also grab some of the wool. That wool will be pretty instrumental in clothing us for heat, I think. So what I'm going to do is add an electrical steel, bench here. Wooden tailor. Let's make it steel tailor. I know we don't really at the moment have enough steel, but actually, you know what? I think it'd be better if it be hand tailor. If it takes longer, we actually get more skill out of it, so I don't really mind it taking a while. And I'm keeping a close eye on Stormy's radiation because this is not necessarily a safe travel. All right. And Tony, you're going to have to start paying in radiation and blood for your housing. And what I mean by that is we're going to have her do some long distance hauling as well. Aggro, you're going to mine everything out and haul it all back. And Jane's, you get to hang out. Just sort of smoothing out the floors. Smoothing out the floors does add a lot of colony wealth. If we check my building wealth, as you can see, it's going up. And it's not an insignificant climb. So I got to be careful. All right, so we did hit moderate radiation just barely, but that is a trip to be avoided. Hence the need for a tunnel system. I might tweak the radiation gain to possibly lower it. And the reason I would do that is I don't want raiders perishing trying to get to me. I do want them to be able to reach me. So, yeah. All right, so Stormy here is going to be no radiation restricted, as will Aggro when he gets in. And then Tony. All right, and we have all this lovely wool here. We don't exactly have a skilled tailor for it, but what I could do is actually move the hand tailor bench once we mine out some steel and put it outside in the dark and interact with it once we have hypothermia or something like that. And that would, in effect, maximize the amount of bang for your buck that you get out of tailoring. Weird, yes, but functionally sound. All right, Psychic Drone is ending. That will be really, really nice. So it warns me that I have a medical emergency once I hit moderate. And without spoiling too much about how it works, hitting moderate, really, really not good for you in the long run. It's very damaging to your organs. All right, so I would say pretty definitively that the extra solar power generator has been quite nice in being able to manage the power demands of the sun lamp. Some people mentioned that I should start to grow Devil Strand. The thing is, Devil Strand is sort of fertility sensitive, and if we put it in this stony soil, yeah, we would eventually one day get Devil Strand, but it would take well over a year. I actually tried this in my Extreme Desert Survival series, where I had a stony soil farm for Devil Strand, and it literally does take about a year. So it is a long-term project, but not one that should be done like right now. Because as long as I have sort of power insecurity, but what I mean by that is that the chance of my batteries being empty, I really ought not to stress out my power grid for really any reason. Another thing I could do in this spot here is put a battery. Yeah, but I probably won't anymore. I'll probably airlock it. Just have a big old airlock. Little Psychic Soothe, I won't mind that. Now, of course, this door here is actually irradiated. So, if I want an airlock, I might actually remove that one and mine it out here. Like this. And this will be a better airlock. Yeah, I'll do that. Expand my radiation zone. Alright, let's do a quick health check. Initial, minor. So even at minor, they have a minus 15 modifier for minor radiation. So it's really not something to ignore. Even if it's not going to cause health problems, it will cause a lot of discomfort. And it comes with a huge negative mood modifier, which affects my me a lot more than a raider. Raiders won't likely have like mental breaks because of it. I also have to keep an eye on my batteries now because it's an eclipse. And the impressiveness of this workshop is going up. I'm curious, because it has a workshop designation. Yeah, we're still getting a dining room and bedroom bonus. Alright, I think what I'll do is add the no radiation zone over to the horseshoe pin, and they should be able to use the horseshoe pin and hopefully won't stand there. That's the kicker. We'll see if people start to use it. That would be nice. Alright, Tony is harvesting another... Oh, eclipse has ended. We did not run out of power, which is great. So here is the slightly moved bedroom. Lovely. I love getting my rice on. No one's used that yet. So we have 355 rice. We'll just have to keep an eye whether that number is going up or down. Up means I have enough benches dedicated to rice. Down, of course, is the opposite. At this point, Tony and Stormy, I'm going to take off of construction. We no longer have smoothing out floors as a task. And as a result, actually, we are about to add some smooth floors. So I take that back. I just don't want them constructing anything for real. Because the chance of it being damaging is pretty high. Alright, and here's one bedroom being able to move up. And we'll have to replace some marble tile. And what I need to do is start to make some new marble on the cutter table. There we go, Stormy's doing it. Let's see, expand area, no, okay. They just haven't gotten to that mining yet, but it's not prohibited. I don't love having to make wooden doors and move them around. The reason why I use wooden doors over steel ones or some other material, wood opens and closes much faster. So yeah, I don't have an unlimited supply of wood. God, I only wish I did. But in the long run, in my opinion, it is a stronger choice for quick doors. Like if we need to make a quick getaway because we're being harmed, you can open and close a wood door a lot faster. Yeah, steel auto doors would be ideal, but we just didn't and still don't have auto doors. And then one of the problems with steel auto doors and any auto door is on a map like this where we have a very extraordinarily limited amount of components, there's just not a lot of replacements for stuff that breaks down. So you want to limit the amount of whatever it is that could break down in your base. All right, so there we go. Now we have another bedroom. It's not quite set up yet, but it will be soon. And we didn't use too much space. Oh, looks like we're hitting some compacted machinery down here. It's saying low food. Is this true? 319? I don't think so. Tony got the flu. What I'm going to do is no meds. Try to treat this with no meds as long as we can. It's not like I have an abundance of meds, and my heal root. I guess my heal root has grown a bit, but I wouldn't want to treat it just yet. Yes, I know. I've seen the constructed machinery. It's not new news to me, game. But thank you. And then Jane should be getting 2 per... Yep, great. Birthday! Tony has a bad back now. Great. Thank you, birthday. The best gift I could have thought of, and it came free. So thank you. How are these bugs doing? They're just sort of hibernating. One's in a hypothermic slowdown. Fancy. Sucks to be you, Mr. Bug. So I've gotten rid of all of my smooth stone tiles because I recognize that they add wealth much more rapidly than a lot of the other things that you could have. All right, before we build that, what I want to do is not mine that out yet. I want some blocks first. All right, so Stormy and yeah, they're gonna start romancing each other. I foresee. If this doesn't happen, I'll be surprised. Looking around to see if anyone can grab the rest of the wool here. This wool is deteriorating, but I don't think anyone has a... Oh, aggro, actually. You've got a 0 radiation. So I'm going to have you brave the terrible, terrible radiation to grab that for us. So we also have a lack of steel at the moment. Jane's unrestricted, and I think, although I can mine some out, going through the mountain here, I'm just going to grab what's on the ground. Don't love that bad back. But there's not a lot of heavy lifting that anyone really has to do. So there's one more trip of wool. Not even a full trip. Aggro here has moderate radiation. No, you stay inside now. Alright. And we're making the tailor bench. Alright, aggro, you are going to be no radiation stationary. As you can see, now they can play horseshoes outside, not gaining radiation because, of course, it is protected by a thin, natural overhead mountain. All right. And your radiation up to 53%. Okay. Jane's here. We will mine out some stuff for the hope of blocks. Oh, okay. Aggro just got carcinoma of the heart. Okay. That's bad, right? What is my best bed? This bed is the best bed. So aggro, I'm going to excise that carcinoma if I can. Who's allowed to doctor? I'm gonna have my best doctor be the doctoring. So I'm gonna wake you up. You know, actually, I'm not gonna do it just yet. I'm gonna wait until Stormy is not consciousness weakened by the radiation, which barely at all right now, but enough that I'm not going to risk it. All right, and that's the last block we need for this bedroom. Looks to me like, yeah, we need to add some no radiation zones here. So his cancer is minor but growing. And Tony, you need treatment. You should rest until you are healed. Let's check. Flu is lower than the immunity, so no meds might not be necessary, is I guess what I'm trying to say. So there you go. Pretty clear that some carcinoma happens when you get irradiated. And we've been sitting at moderate for a while now, so I hope that ideally that's the last of the terrible effects, but I might know better. Additionally, what I should do is add a marble door at the bottom there. What I think I'm going to do is start to mine out space for another bedroom as well. And aggro will start to craft blocks. Jane's here has hit steel, which will be really, really nice to be able to finish off this vent. Stormy's bedroom is going to be the first one to be relocated. And then additionally, we are going to remove the floor and destroy the walls here. And we'll allow our dudes to move in that spot. Yeah, they already are. So they'll get a little radiated work in there, but... Oh, we've got a raid of tribespeople attacking immediately, and they spawned right on top of our beautiful... They basically spawn on top of us. Okay. So I don't want to stand literally in the doorway there because it is a vector for radiation. But I think actually what I need to do is have these guys aggravated so they don't burn down my entire power grid. And we only need to down two or three of them, maybe? Stormy trying to hold the door back. Alright, 3. You guys go for the same target, please. Okay. They're leaving. We can strip Engo. Actually, they are from the Orange Inlet Union. So that is a savage tribe. We could actually capture. So I'm going to do that. And then aggro here, you will dump the bodies here. The problem here is I don't have my 2 doctors are the ones that are sick, so Jane's. Oh, aggro, you should not be outside. You already have some radiation. So James, you're gonna have to do everything. Sorry to say, but you're gonna have to patch up Stormy. So let's go stand in a position to do that. And then we're gonna have to wait for that operation until Stormy is all healed up, or run the risk of, you know, surgery fail, which would be unhealthy at the very least. All right, now my total rice is 391. Yeah, I think we are gaining, not losing. Stop standing in that door. All right, so even a opened door like this will slow down the heat loss that I'm going to experience. Great. Did we patch this dude up? No, we did not. James. Let's tend to him. Captured him in hopes to release him. So I'm going to reduce resistance for a bit. Actually, we could even potentially recruit you. You're tough, but now you're a misandrist. So misandry means increased man-hating, and we don't really need that in our group. All right, aggro's cranking out the blocks. And we do need to do some tending here. Stormy, try to tend Tony. We did a really terrible job of it, but the flu is still going to be recoverable. Jane's here is going to clean up a lot of blood. No, you're not going to build that roof. We can start modifying. This will irradiate us, but we can start modifying the hospital. Oh, sadistic rage. You are going to vent anger on prisoners. Cool. That seems like a very sensible thing to do. We did let the mood drop a little bit, didn't he? Ouch. Yeah, the radiation really does cause a lot of problems. Well, that's all the time I have for this episode, guys. So, time to roll credits. You know the deal. If you have any tips, tricks, feedback for me, let me know. I did mention quite a lot of little suggestions that you all had. Hit me up on Discord if you'd like to chat about this series, and I do hope that you tune in next time. If you've enjoyed this, think about liking. If you're not already a subscriber, subscribe. And then if you would like to contribute ideas for the poll for next week, maybe become a patron. Thank you all for watching. Adios.